there guys, my name is Faz Ullah, property cash flow entrepreneur from GenX Properties. I've been working with Chris, who is here, kindly has agreed to have a conversation with me regarding his experience in working with me. Now, Chris is a landlord, and I spoke to him in September of last year in 2020. Where we talked about how I could take his property on a company-let basis for a period of 5 years. So, welcome Chris.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Faz.
How are you doing today?
I'm all very good, thank you. Yeah, all good.
Fantastic, yes. So Chris, tell me a little bit about what was your thought process in taking over a company-let?
Well, I suppose it's an interesting one really, because we've had the house on the same road that I live on for a number of years now, and we've had a house next door to us that's been converted into a house in multiple occupancy, and we did have reservations about that, living next door to a house that was very much a sort of come and go kind of, very short term, maybe lots and lots of people there who don't really have an interest in the in the road and the community and that sort of thing. And I'd say our experience of living next door to these people has been overwhelmingly positive. So over time, we've become a lot more open-minded about it. And really, I suppose the attraction for me as someone who self-manages a property is the bits that I can't or don't do, which is the sort of selling, tenant management. I've got a full-time job, my job isn't in property, this is an investment for me. So meeting Faz and having someone who's got complementary skills to mine seemed like a good fit. The length of the contract is attractive because, finding new tenants and turning them over costs money and it costs time. So overall it was kind of a meeting of sort of complementary skills and services that we thought we'd made a better proposition. I think we've borne that out this year. I think it's been good. Yeah,
fantastic. And tell me a little bit about the property itself.
Well, it's a 4-bedroomed terrace house built around 1905. It's in a nice, quiet, genteel part of London, SW19 and Wimbledon, and known as sort of very quiet, sort of nice place to live. There's the location is probably made by the fact that you're near Wimbledon town centre and you're almost on top of South Wimbledon tube station, which means the transport is fantastic around here. Anywhere you're working, you can get anywhere in London quickly. You can get out on the A3 out to southwest. So it's a great location. The property itself is a nice, solid red brick built building. As I say, 4 bedrooms. It's had its loft converted. And since meeting Faz and having GenX involved, the property's been converted to have more bedrooms in it. So what was once just a very large lounge that got kind of really the people who've been in there before only ever used half of it. That's now 2 bedrooms, and the kitchen is more of a sort of community area where people mix. There's a garden out the back, about 40 feet of garden. Small area out the front, and it's on a quiet sort of side road.
How long have you owned the property?
Well, 12 years now.
Okay. Have you had a let previously?
Yeah. So it's always been let out. So
has it been a company let or?
No. I've always managed it myself.
Oh right. Okay. And you wanted more of a hands-off experience?
Well, I suppose the thing is, I don't mind helping people out with the nuts and bolts of running the house. It's the tenant management and recruitment and contracts and the turnover that I think is better handled by a specialist. And I think that's something the sort of vision and pizzazz that I think you've brought to the property, and it's recruited some great tenants, and it's really made a good community, and that's something that I wouldn't have been able to do, I don't think.
Fine. And so how's your experience been with working with myself and my team?
Yeah, very good. It's all been as it said. I mean, we've got a very peculiar set of circumstances here. Is that I'm a landlord who lives next door but one to his rental property, and I've either installed myself or fixed almost everything in the house. So, you know, when I bought it, it was a wreck, and we've done it up. So everything in that house I've put there, and that puts us at a slightly interesting position in that I know a lot more about that house than even, you know, handymen and tradesmen coming in, because I know all about what's going on behind the walls and where everything is. So overall, I think we've had a bit of backwards and forwards on a few issues, which really I think Jasmine has coped with admirably. You know, she's been lovely to deal with. Has always been very conciliatory and very sort of deferential towards, you know, what we're, you know, my knowledge and my background with the property. So yeah, I'd say it's gone well.
Yeah, so in terms of the work that's actually been carried out with regards to the HMO licensing, the works and creating a stud wall to create further living space for the additional bedroom, how did you feel about that when you first was given that proposition?
I suppose because it's always had 4 people in it and it was going to 6, I think there was some trepidation over the wear on the common areas, and you know, having 5 people sharing one bathroom, we thought, maybe is that going to work? Is that, you know, is that going to make, you know, are these going to be happy people living there? Because that's a key criteria for us. And I'm pleased to say it's gone really well. so some trepidation, but I've absolutely been proved wrong. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Okay. And how much is the monthly rent?
It's $2,700 a month.
What was the asking when you first advertised?
I think we were looking at 2.5 or 2.6. But 2.5 we were looking for, I think, when we started speaking to you. But we were looking for that as a single rental to sort of either 4 people to share or a family.
Did you have many viewings?
Yep, we had. We had quite a few company let viewings. We had a number of shared house people coming to see us who we didn't really think were suitable for one reason or another. We didn't think they'd be able to make a go of it. You know, either their arrangements seemed terribly loose, or they weren't in full-time employment. So, you know, that they were students or whatever. So there were quite a few like that. With the company lets, we probably saw 6 or 7, and we had 3 or 4 offers out of that.
Okay, all right, fantastic. And what was the turning point for you, and what was attractive about my offer that kind of persuaded you to accept that?
I think the money made sense. I think I sort of warmed to you personally. I thought that you had some good, you know, a good sort of conciliatory manner about you, and you were kind of, you know, the kind of landlord who I think the tenants would like to work with. We met some others who seemed to have a sort of slightly aggressive edge and weren't as, you know, they didn't have a lot of nice things to say about tenants. And for me, that's a problem. You know, that's a breaker, because I want people to be happy here and to
Absolutely.
live, you know, nice lives, and, you know, I want to conduct business with people as equals.
Sure.
I don't want to be, you know, having one person having a hold over another. So, yes, I think there was that. As I say, the money made sense, and we had a deal that where you put work into the house and I'd give a short rent-free period. That seemed to make sense because we both had some skin in the game. So
absolutely. How much was the rent-free period?
It was 2 months we had at the beginning, didn't we?
Right. Okay. And was there a deposit involved?
No, we didn't worry about that because it was such a long let. It's hard to know. You know, I mean, a deposit is a few £1,000s against a house that's on the market for 900 or £1 million. You know.
Sure.
So
sure.
I mean, the balance of risk and security is just completely out of the window. So I think implicit in this is trusting one another and being able to work within the framework of the contract, but to understand that, you know, trust is very important.
Absolutely. You know, and when did we take out the contract?
It was beginning of September, wasn't it?
Right,
September,
2020, yeah?
2020.
So it's been a year now.
Yeah.
So you've achieved, must be the best part of £30,000 from us?
Yep.
All right, fantastic. And has there been any issues with rent or anything like that? Any other concerns that you've had?
No, there's no. The rent's been paid on time, and that for me is the most important factor in all of this. So we had a few breakages early on, but we were able to work out that we were able to work through those, which I think was fine.
Have you met any of the tenants or the clients?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we have it's our secret that I own the place that Faz lets out. So we don't tell the tenants. They just think I'm some friendly landlord, a friendly neighbour who likes cutting grass and that sort of thing. And I've sort of explained to them that historically we've always had a relationship with the people who lived in that house because we're here for the long term and we want to be helpful, and we want good neighbours and we want them to feel welcome on our road, and we think there's a lot of advantage in having a relationship with people who you live near, and they seem to want to buy into that, and we've got along very well.
Yes, and have you been in the property very much? Have you been conscious about understanding the standards that are being maintained in the property?
I haven't been in for an inspection. I've been in to sort the boiler out once, and I think that's about it. So not really. And I have to say, when I went to sort the boiler out, it was impeccably clean, and all looked fine really. So,
fantastic! Yeah. So all good in terms of your experience working with us.
Yeah.
All quite positive.
I'll do it again.
Fantastic. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time today, Chris. Is there anything in terms of adding value to somebody who's looking at this and wanting to start out with a company let for the first time? What tip would you give them from a landlord's perspective?
I think probably I'd say I'd be open-minded about propositions for your property, as we were concerned about having the number of people in there, and it was going to be very much come and go. I think I would concentrate on what sort of house your company let is going to be creating. Are they going to be? We've been very lucky with Faz that we've built a community there. The people there are friends. They hang out together. They're in the garden together. They're a little community, and they like one another. And they've started growing vegetables in the garden, and they all eat them, and it's a really lovely thing. And I would try and home in on that very early on, and find someone who's going to create the sort of community that you want in your house. I think as far as occupancy goes, I'd be open-minded. We took references to talk to people about, what their experience was of working with Faz, and whether we had whether there was a good, whether it all came true. They were very happy. So, we overcame our worries, and we've been pleasantly surprised, to be honest with you.
And any top tip for a landlord looking at this for the first time, thinking about whether I should or whether I shouldn't? What are the kind of the benefits you would say in terms of the vision that they might have?
I think the main benefit for me is it just removes me from the tenant management, and and I hadn't probably appreciated how much time I was putting into that before. Just dealing with sort of phone calls and things, things that go wrong, with just little questions that need answering. Having that front line of sort of support there, it does make a lot of difference. It's a very good thing.
All right, well, fantastic. Thank you very much for your time today, Chris. This is Faz, a property cash flow entrepreneur running GenX Properties Ltd. And thank you again, Chris.
Thank you, Faz.